finished saying your goodbyes? Well, how'd it go? Did it make you feel like you want to stay?
Absolutely. Of course.
I see. You must have made a lot of good memories here. You're leaving early tomorrow from Shibuya, right? Make sure you pack up before you head to sleep. Oh, and take that stupid cat with you. I don't want it getting lost and ending up back here.
I don't blame you in the slightest, Coffee Daddy.
Don't make fun of me. I can go wherever I want all by myself.
Huh. It really never stops meowing, huh? Hey, Futaba, what's he saying? Is he sad that he has to leave me?
Everyone should be sad they have to leave you.
He said Sojiro's stupid.
Skin the cat.
What?
What kind of translation is that? Let me have a nice goodbye. Mona's your responsibility now. Leave Sojiro to me.
Yeah, it is absolutely the other way around.
That's not true. I'll take really good care of him.
Oh, boy.
Even if you're not here, I'll make sure I do my best. So, you go do your best too. Thank you for everything.
Credits do roll at some point, right, chat? For me to be able to talk about the game? I honestly hope that the thing stays at 50% in the game. It fits. Credits do roll. Good.
Hey. You got everything? When I took you in, I thought I was the one helping you. But it turns out it was the other way around.
No, Coffee Daddy. You helped me more than you could ever imagine.
Take care.
I'm free from my attic prison. I refuse to say that. You too, Coffee Daddy. You too.
Don't be so cheeky. Oh, and sorry. I wanted to have Futaba see you off too. I haven't been able to find her since this morning, though.
I'm sure they're around the corner gonna give me a send-off or something.
Same with that cat. If you end up back in the city, come on by. I'll at least treat you to a nice cup of coffee. Wait, that means I can't go closing the store, huh? What are you doing? Hurry up and go.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Coffee Daddy, you're gonna make me cry. Don't cry, you're gonna make me cry.
After we said we'd disband, my word. Huh?
Sorry about the weird parking job. The engine just died on us right here.
Hey, Morgana, are you done yet? Why the heck am I in charge of the car again?
And I thought we were done.
It's fine. We're on break. Exams are done too, right? Come on, why don't you let us drive you home? You really gotta go?
Come on, man. Nobody's forcing you to leave, you know? Wiping your slate clean ain't so easy. You see what I mean?
Hmm?
Things must be slow these days.
Don't mind them. What they think of us doesn't really matter.
Yeah, she's right. We can totally do whatever we want to do.
The car's fixed. Just had to borrow a plug.
Nice job on the first try.
All right, let's roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why won't it start? We're gonna lose him.
It was fine just a second ago.
Anyways, now that we gotcha, we ain't taking you straight home.
Hey, can I ask something? My friend's in trouble, and I'd like everyone's input. Ooh, that sounds like fun.
If this is any more work, count me out.
You know you want to, Inari.
I'm getting out.
Why'd you open the whoa?
Let me
Hey,
off.
stop moving around.
Where, are we the mystery gang now from Scooby-Doo? Also, did Yusuke try and open the door on the road? I love that, man. Oh no, this music better not be copywritten. I'll be mad. I'll be very upset if this gets copywritten. Oh, we made it to the credits, chat. We made it. It's the end of the game. Oh my goodness. This is such a good game. I love it. Look at him run. Look at him go. That takes me back. That was running in Kamoshido's palace after we beat it. Oh, man. Yeah, I know that Joker and Arsene and Master Hand from Smash Bros. All have the same voice actor. I know. See you, Neo. Thanks for coming to stream, man. Forgot just how long the cutscenes were after the final boss. Yeah, they were pretty long. I really hope this is not copywritten. I'll be really mad. Alright. Persona 5 is an amazingly good game, but it does have some issues. I give it, personally, I give it an 8 out of 10. An 8.5 out of 10, probably. An 8 out, nah, probably an 8.5 out of 10, because it is really, really good, but it's got some issues that really mess with it. But, anyways, I'm gonna stretch here. I guess I should talk about, first of all, so many of the characters are really, really, really good in the game. It's such great character development and story and everything. I love it. The story is amazing, the way it works. The premise of the whole thing is great. It's also good. I love that you can grow with your confidants, that you can actually choose from 9 different girls to date in the game. It's so good. Such a good premise. It's really enjoyable. The combat is fun when RNG isn't screwing you over, which I'll talk about in a second. But turn-based combat is fun. Gathering the personas and using them is fun. Say cool, probably butchered that, but thank you for following. I hope you enjoyed the stream and any future ones. But it is a really, really fun game with a really good story. I love the designs of most of the characters as well, other than, like, I wasn't a huge fan of Futaba's persona or Makoto's persona, and man, Makoto's mask is so bad. I just, as it came up on screen, I just, like, every time I see it, I'm like, bad. But, yeah. It's a very, very good game. I'm a lot better at pointing out the things I don't like in a game, so I'm going to talk about that. First thing I really don't like about the game is some of the status effects, like Brain Jack and all that, are straight garbage. Straight garbage. They're terrible, and just whenever they show up, the game is practically ruined the minute it happens. But, also, the fact that Joker goes down and you lose is idiotic. I don't care what reason you have for it. It's terrible from a gameplay standpoint to have the entire game end if one specific character dies. What was the other thing I was gonna say? That's really bad. And the fact that sometimes if an enemy just gets lucky and crits you, or uses a multi-hit move and it super effectively hits one person, that it gets like 3 attacks and they can just kill Joker and you lose the second it happens, complete garbage. It's just terrible. Terrible. That's really bad. The music is phenomenal. Some of the best music I've ever heard. I love it. Absolutely great. Maybe might be it's definitely one of my favorite games based on music, but might even be my number 1. Probably top 3. I'd have to really think about that, but it is awesome. Characters are really good. What was the other thing that I wanted to complain about? I'm gonna take a minute to complain about the way confidants work. There's a lot of stuff, and people were telling me when I got to the end, when they were like, oh, these people saying stuff, if the only people that show up are ones that you blood oath. I think it's really terrible of the game. It's a terrible decision how long it takes to get blood oaths. I don't disagree with, like, if you don't get them to blood oaths, then you don't get the scenes or whatever, but I put a ton of focus on blood oaths. The game really feels like, unless you know everything you're doing, you're, like, playing it your second time, or you go through the game by a guide telling you step by step how to do it, it makes it nearly impossible to get all of the blood oaths. And I think that's terrible game design. That's absolutely terrible. It's awful. It should be more likely to get all of the blood oaths rather than less likely, because that just takes away so much from the game. You miss so many side story stuff with different characters. You miss certain scenes where they say things or do stuff at the end. I think that's an awful decision. It's absolutely terrible. And that alone definitely, like, brings the game down, like, one whole point for me. Like, I'd probably say the game is a 9 out of 10 if it weren't for that. The fact that that's how they do the Confidants brings it down to an 8 out of 10 for me. Because that's just awful that they deprive you of that much story in your, unless you play the game a second time. And this is such a long game. I'll probably play it again sometime. Probably not in the super near future. But, like, I want to be able to see all of the majority of the story and all the character building and all that stuff in the first time I play it. Especially when I have to invest 110 hours into it. I feel like I got gypped out of some of the game. I feel like I missed out on some of the game because of how they designed it, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. That is definitely probably, other than the fact that you can get screwed over in combat and Joker just insta-killed, other than that, the way the Confidants work is probably my least favorite part of the game, by far. Because it just seems like such a waste and so unnecessary. Because all they have to do is make it where you, like, rank up faster. Or make it where you get your social stats up faster, so you don't have to waste as many days with, you don't have to waste as many days getting the social stats up. That's all they had to do, was make those things go faster, and they would make it more likely for you to get all the blood oaths, and it would make the game better as a whole. It burns me up that it does it like that. The next thing I want to talk about is Akechi. I didn't like Akechi that much in the first half of the game because he did so little. But, I really grew to love Akechi in Nejima's Palace. He might be my favorite male character other than Coffee Daddy. Like, him and Yusuke are up there for my top 2. I don't really know which one I prefer. Yusuke stops doing as much in the later half of the game, so he kind of falls off a bit because of that, I feel like. But Akechi, I really, really liked Akechi. No, Infrix, I'm going to talk about what you said in just a second, but I got to see if there's a cutscene or something here first. Cutscene or anything? Ah!
Man, it's weird. All this ain't feeling real to me just yet. Like, am I in a dream, you know?
I wouldn't mind that.
We're free to do whatever we want, after all.
I guess so. If you want to change the world, all you have to do is just look at it differently. Am I right? And that is what aesthetics are.
Yeah.
On my way to Smash Bros. Where did we get that car? What an amazing game. Very good game. Is it going to put me at the title screen or something so I can talk more? If you load your clear data, you'll be able to inherit some of your progress on a new playthrough. A new journey. Yes, thank you. Please be careful, as you will not be able to resume from where you left off if you overwrite the data. Would you like to save your clear data? Yes. 4th save slot. Thank you. Completed. We done? Yep. All right. Okay, I still have some more stuff I'm going to talk about. Probably take about another 10 minutes, and then I will wrap up the playthrough. I'm just going to go to, like, here so that it doesn't try and reload any opening cutscenes or anything. Okay, so listen. Infrix just said, and I want to talk about Akechi a good bit, and I'll talk about him first, but first I want to address this, because Infrix replied to what I said about Confidants. Yeah, but then again, maxing Confidants is a completionist thing and not something vital in the game, and Persona games in general work like this for the Confidants. wholeheartedly disagree. It's not main story, sure, the Confidants, but the story building and all that, and it affects the main story as well. The story building of the characters and all that is one of the best things about Persona. You probably spend more time talking with people and in cutscenes than you do going through palaces and playing the game overall, depending on how you play the game. I think it's a terrible decision to say that it's a completionist thing, so they should do it in the post-game or, like, follow a guide to do it. No, you should just be able, you should make it readily available. Not easy, maybe, but a lot easier than it is for someone new to the game to get all of the Confidants. I don't care if it's easier in NG+. I don't care if, oh, that's not how they're designed in the original, in the other games or anything. I don't care about any of that. I think it would be better, undoubtedly, if they made it to where you were likely. It was like 80% of people that play the game, or maybe not even that much, maybe like 60 or 70% of people. If you're trying, like I was, if you're a player and you're trying to max all the Confidants in your first playthrough, you should be likely to max them all. So, that's what I think. I don't care what the other Persona games are like. I don't care if you say it's a completionist thing or anything like that. I think the game would be drastically better if you could get all of the story stuff with all the characters and learn everything about that. And I just think it would be so much better that way. Persona games are designed with the expectation you do NG+ to get all Confidants to max, get all Personas, etc. I don't like it, but it's what it is. No, it doesn't have to be that way, though. The people who design the game get to make that decision. They can just not do it that way. It doesn't matter what the other 4 games have been like. Or what this game was like. That doesn't matter. They can choose to change it. So it would be better if they did. That's like saying, oh, the other games have it where if the main character dies, you start the game over. Are you trying to tell me that means that they should always use that game mechanic? No, they should change it because it's a dumb mechanic. They're totally able to change it, and they should, because it would be much better the other way, in my eyes. It doesn't ruin the game by any means, but it definitely takes away from the game for me. It definitely takes away from the game. The last major thing I want to talk about is Akechi, but before I do that, I want to address this, because John has said it again, and he's mentioned it numerous times in chat, but I didn't want to talk about it while I was in the final fight and all that. But, I definitely, 100%, really, really doubt, I would be shocked if Joker's final smash in Smash Ultimate is Satanael shooting that gun. Satanael is way too big and complex, way too much of a spoiler, and it would just be way too much of a thing to animate. Especially compared to an all-out attack. An all-out attack looks much cleaner and would be much easier to do in Smash Ultimate. I would be shocked if they used Satanael instead of whatchamacallit. So, I would be shocked. I really, really highly doubt they'd use Satanael instead of using all-out attack. But anyways, that's my problem with Confidants and all that, and that's what I think about the Smash stuff. The only thing left I have to talk about is Akechi. I still think Akechi is a really good character by the end of the game. I really like what they did with him, how they had him and Joker set up in a game against each other. They were like on opposite sides, but Akechi was normally seen as the hero, and you were seen as the villain. I love that Akechi was like just all alone, and they were both given this power. We were both alone and given this power, but I happened to gain friends and he didn't. And then he had the power to make people insane, so to like drive people to madness, and so he had Loki and Robin Hood. I really love Akechi's design, and that's why I really, really would have loved it if we saved him on Shido's boat and had him join us for the rest of the game. And people were saying like, oh, but you know, he killed those people, he can't really atone. I think he completely can. I think he completely can by admitting to his crimes and going to prison at the end of the game, like how Joker did, except he wouldn't get out as easily if he ever did. But, I also think it would have been great to have Akechi come with the team and join them all, and like, because he realizes, at the end, he realized he did kind of join them at the end. So, because he sacrificed himself for them. They absolutely could have, buy-in Fricks, thanks for coming to stream, man. But, he was basically Gar and you were Naruto. Not really, but kinda, I guess. But they totally could have had Akechi join you and all that. And I would have loved to see Akechi in Mementos going at the end where they talked about him being the other player and all that. And Akechi being like, I was doomed from the start. I was doomed to be the villain from the start and all that, and having like a crisis with that, and then Joker and the others being like, you were used, and you know, you did things wrong, but you can make up for it right now. You can make up for it with us and fight with us. I would have absolutely adored that. And to have Akechi there with the Holy Grail at the end, and the Holy Grail to say like he gave him that power to be the villain and all that, and then Akechi to say like, you know, you don't discern my fate or anything, like it's, and when he was saying, the Grail was saying like, I control everyone and all that, Akechi was like, you controlled me against the Joker, but you don't control me anymore, and he's like, I'm not gonna let you do this and all that. They could have done a lot of really good stuff with that. I remember the Holy Grail, I can't remember the exact thing, but in the final fight, he said a specific line, and everyone was refuting him, and I was like, I thought of a line that Akechi could have said that would have fit perfectly. I'd have to go back and watch the scene to remember it again. But absolutely, I think Akechi could have been used amazingly well in the rest of the game if they had just chosen to use him that way. I think he did get a good end, per se, but I hate, especially when Morgana lives, too. I hate that he's the only one that gets really the short end of the stick. That he doesn't, like, he gets a little bit of a redemption, but everyone else gets a happy ending, except Akechi, and it burns me up. Because, like, I really felt for Akechi. I, like, really, it hurt me when he was at the end, and he was, like, losing to them, and he was, like, he didn't understand, and he was, like, I've never been wanted, I've always been alone, and I've been winning ever since I got this power until you showed up. Why can't I beat you? Why are you better than me? And as he, like, realized at the end that there was nothing he could do about it because he was alone, and he just gave his life away for them, I was like, Akechi, I'm in physical pain. Because I wanted him to get his happiness in the end after all of he made so many mistakes, and he would have had to have repented for them. And I also think that I think it's much better for a character, instead of redeeming themselves by dying, is much better for a character to live and redeem themselves through actions. Because death, sometimes, it feels like an easy way out, because you don't have to deal with all the mistakes you made. You just get out in one last blaze of glory. I think it would have been way better for Akechi to have come back, and rather he, like, admitted to his crimes and went to prison to repent, or if he, like, he didn't, because they can't prove the metaverse, he doesn't admit his crimes, but he, like, keeps working as a detective and, like, gets into it would have been really great when Sai said that she can't stay in and change the system from the inside, she's gonna become a defense lawyer, if Akechi became a prosecutor to try and change the system, and he would have atoned for all of the murders he did by trying to make sure that, like, other people didn't get screwed over by the legal system, by trying to fix it from the inside, and just dedicating his life to fixing that. I would have adored it if Akechi had done that. But, yeah, I really, really wish they would have done a lot better with Akechi, and I also would have loved Akechi just being in the game more. But, I would have really loved if they had done more with Akechi other than offing him like that. But, yeah, so that's really what I wanted to say about Akechi. And that's another reason the game ranks a little bit lower for me, because by the end of the game, once Akechi, especially during his sacrifice moment, I wanted more of Akechi. That's all I wanted, was to see him come back. So, it really, I feel like he was a little bit wasted and could have done a lot more. But, I would have adored if they had done more with Akechi. So, I think that's all I really wanted to say. I give the game like an 8 out of 10. I can't wait to cosplay as Joker coming this June when I go to PopCon. I'm super excited for that. I understand that when you do NG+, it keeps your stuff. I'm probably going to play NG+ and Platinum this game on my own time, but I'm not doing that streaming or anything. This is the end of my playthrough. Which, again, you know, I don't want to have to play another 112 hours to be able to show my reaction to the other Confidant stuff, which is another reason I really, really wish that they made it easier to get the Blood Oaths in the main playthrough. So, that's, like, my two biggest story complaints. My three biggest complaints can be summed up in these three things. The game's RNG can be really, really dumb and really stupid with the way if Joker dies you lose, and some of the status effects like Brainjacks are terrible. That's my one major complaint gameplay-wise. Second major complaint, could have done more with Akechi. I would have really, really preferred if they did more with Akechi. Really wish they had. So that's my second main complaint. Last main complaint was the way the Confidants work, and that it's so incredibly unlikely to get all of the Blood Oaths in one playthrough, because I really, really wish they had made it where they could get that to work how I wanted. You never know what you want until you don't have it anymore. Yeah, exactly. So those are my three major complaints. That's why I give the game like an 8 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10 or anything higher. But it is a really, really good game. I really loved it. The characters are great. This is definitely probably in my top 10 favorite games now. I've never sat down and written out my top 10 games list, but this would definitely be in the top 10, maybe even get around 5th place, near the top 5. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything with Persona 5R or anything like that. I have to wait and see what it is, because if they release it and then they're like, we changed, like, 3 hours of cutscenes, there were, like, 3 other hours of cutscenes in the 110-hour game, then I'm probably not going to do a playthrough of it. But, I might be willing, depending on how much change there is, to do another playthrough of Persona 5R. But, we'll see. We'll see. It depends on what they say about it. When the Persona 5R news happens later this month, I will be streaming it when it happens and reacting to it. So we'll see. We will see. And then we can talk about it. In this game, they actually made the Confidants easier to max in the first playthrough. In Persona 3, it was 10 times harder. That makes Persona 3 sound awful then, because it's already too difficult in this game. They really, really need to change it. In, like, Persona 6 and 4. They really need to make it better in my eyes. But yeah, I think that's everything. So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching this playthrough and supporting it for as long as it's been going. I appreciate you all so much, those of you who made it to streams or didn't, whether you just watched it on YouTube or just watched it on Twitch or back and forth, whatever. I loved this playthrough. It was so much fun. I'm so, so glad that I did not play this game when it came out, and instead I played it right when I came back to streaming. I adore this game, and it was such a good thing to stream, especially. I'm so, so glad that I streamed it and put it onto YouTube that way. It was so much fun. All of the jokes and stuff we got from it, Coffee Daddy being the amazingness that he is, all of the other stuff, it was fantastic. It was really, really fantastic. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to check out my Twitch channel for other stuff, I'll probably be playing Devil May Cry by the time this goes up. If I haven't already moved on to something else, I'll be playing stuff like Fire Emblem Awakening. Will probably still be going. Other games like Pixelmon and other stuff that I do. I stream a lot of stuff. If you'd like to check out my Twitch channel, please do. A link is in the description. I'd love to see you there. Or if you just want to keep watching me on YouTube, I understand. I appreciate that all the same. Thank you all so much for supporting the series. Thank you so much for making this game, which was already fantastic, even more fun for me, because the comments on YouTube and the discussions on Twitch and everything, both of them just add so much to playthroughs for me. It makes it even better than they already are. So, really, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you in other playthroughs some other time. And until then, thank you for the final follow of the playthrough, Shiny Wing. But until next time, farewell.